So I saw this video on Facebook and I decided to recreate it and show you the process of making it. Though this video will be divided into two, the cutting process and the sewing process. So do well to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that whenever I upload the other one, you will get to see it. You're welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Onyechi Evangeline Choma, and in today's tutorial we'll be learning how to make this underbust corset using this fabric. So I have my African print fabric, I have a pattern paper, I have a net, then I also have a crepe material that I'll be using for this project. So I have some of the lines already drafted on my pattern paper. This is my shoulder line. I have from my shoulder to my chest line. This is my bust point line. This is my under bust point line. This is my waistline, and this is my Basque line. From my waistline, I added 5 inches for the length of my Basque, and this is my hip length. So the first thing I'm going to do now is on my shoulder line, I'm going to get my shoulder measurement divided by 2. So I have 7 inches here. Then my neck width, I'm using neck width of 3 inches. You can go ahead and alter yours if you want to. Then from this 7 inches, I'm coming down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. So as soon as I'm done with that, I'm going to connect this to the neck width line. Then from here, from the chest line, I'm going to measure 7 inches, whatever I have on the shoulder line, 7 inches. Then I'm going to connect this line together. So as soon as I'm done with that, on my chest line, I'm going to divide my bust measurement by 4, circumference of my bust by 4. So this is what we have. Okay, so I'm going to divide this straight line we have here into 2, get the midpoint. Then from the midpoint, you come out here by 1 inch. Once you are done with that, then you make your armhole curve. So I'm going to connect this 3 inches to my chest line in order to form my V. Once you are done with that, next thing I'm going to do is to take my bust measurements. So I'm using my nipple to nipple measurement is 7 inches divided by 2 is 3.5. So on the bust point, I'm taking 3.5 inches. So at the under bust, I'll reduce it by half an inch of what I have on the bust line. So I'm going to mark 3 inches here. Then at the hip line or Basque line, I'm also going to mark 3 inches. Then I'm going to square a line across. Then you can go ahead and connect it to this line. Then from here, I'm using that of 1.5 inches. So I'm going to mark 1.5 inches from here. 1.5 inches from here. Then as soon as I'm done with that, I'm going to square a line across. Then over here, you can make a curve to connect with this line. Just make a very nice curve. Then you come over to this, your armhole, and make a nice curve, connecting this half an inch point to your bust point. Then from this midpoint, come down by 1 inch. Then make a nice curve again. Then you are going to extend it by 1 inch. From this line, extend it by 1 inch. So this is what we have. So this is going to be your new armhole. Then you reconnect the new armhole. Okay, so this is our new armhole. So next thing I'm going to do is to retake my bust circumference divided by 4. We have 9 inches here. So from this 9 inches, I'm going to come down by 1 inch for my darts, my side darts. So I don't want the bust area to be that tight, pointy rather. So I'm coming in here by 1 inch. So as soon as I'm done with that 1 inch, I'm going to connect the 2 lines together. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is to take my waist measurement divided by 4. My round waist is 8 inches. Then I'm going to add this 1.5 inches that I took out for my dart. So I'm going to extend this line. Then at the hip line, I'm going to take the measurement of my hip divided by 4, circumference of my hip divided by 4. Then this 1.5 inches we took out here, I'm going to replace it. So once I'm done with that, next thing is to reconnect the lines using a very nice curve. Go ahead and fold this. Just try fold it and take your lines so that you will not have excesses there. So this is what I have. So next thing is to separate the bust area from the waist area. So from this under bust line, we're going to connect all the way to our bust line. Then at this point, we come in here by 0.75 inches just to make the waist area a bit curvy. For the basque, I'm going to fold this area. So what we are doing is basically to eliminate the darts. Then from the length of this basque, I'm going to square a line. Okay, so this is it. Then you can go ahead and take your allowance. You can make use of 1 inch allowance or 1.5 inches of allowance. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out what we have. This is going out. Alright, remember to extend this line because it's going out. So I'm done cutting it out and this is what it looks like. So this is it. And we won't be needing this part as well. We won't be needing this part. So for this place, I'm going to fold it up and glue together using my tape. Then this other side, I'm going to tape it together as well. For the back, I have my shoulder line. And the next thing I'm going to do now is to get my waist measurements and mark. I'm using waist measurement of 15 inches. There, I'm going to take in 1 inch. Just 1 inch in to eliminate the bulge that is usually at the back. So I'm going to take it up by 7 inches. Then I'm going to connect the line. So this is it. Then from here, once I'm done doing that, next thing is to put my zip allowance because I'm going to be putting zipper at this clothes. So I'm going to take 1 inch allowance all the way up. So once you're done doing that, next thing is to take some of my vital measurements. So now from this zip allowance, I'm going to take my shoulder measurement divided by 2. This is 7 inches. Then my neck width is 3 inches. I'm marking 3 inches from this zip allowance. Then from here, I'm coming down by 1 inch. Then I'm going to connect it. Then I'm going to mark 1 inch for my neck width, back neck width, then connect it with a curve. Okay, for my chest line, it is my bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches. So I'm going to mark, mine is 7.5. Then at the chest line, I'm going to mark exactly 7 inches from this line in order to have a straight line. Then I'm going to connect it together. So as soon as I'm done with that, divide my bust measurement by 4 and whatsoever I have, I'm going to mark it. Then put a straight line over there. Then make a curve to make my armhole. Okay, that's enough for my armhole. The next thing I'm going to do now is to get my measurements. This is 15 inches. I'm using 15 inches all the way. So now I'm going to divide my waist by 4. Whatsoever I have, I'm going to be using that of one inch. So I'm going to add my dart measurements there and connect to the armhole curve. So as soon as I'm done with that, it's going to have a little opening at the back. So I'm going to come down here by 2 inches or 1.5 inches. Then I want it to be open maybe up to this chest line, Then I'm going to come in here, just indicate how you want your opening. So I want mine like 4.5. So I'm going to mark 4.5 here. Then I'm going to roll a straight line. then connect it. Then from here, I'm going to make my bust point divided by 2 for my darts. So you can take it 1 inch below this chest line, 1 inch below your chest line. Then for my dart leg, I'm taking half an inch from both sides. This is half an inch, making a total of 1 inch. Then connect it to the top. So as soon as I'm done with this, the next thing is to give allowance. For the front bodies, we use total of 1.5 inches for our allowance. So I'm going to include that. So this part is going out, just this part. So this is it for the back part. In case you want yours to have yoke, you can just go ahead and cut this off, but I want mine to just be one piece, so I'll be using it straight like this. So I want to draft the pattern for the skirt bodies. Now the full measurement of the gown we're making is 40 inches. So I have the waist measurement here. I have from my waist to my hip, which is about 9 inches. Then I have the full length here. So now to get the full length we are making, we are going to subtract the half length, which is about 16 inches from the full length, in order to get the full length. Okay, so this is it. Now the first thing I need to do now is to get my waist measurement divided by 4 and mark. For this particular front part, we are not including that. So the hip measurement divided by 4, then I mark. This is 10.5. So for this downside, I'm going to be removing 2 inches from whatsoever I have here, from 10.5. So this is it. I'm going to remove 2 inches from 10.5, and whatsoever I have, I'm going to mark it down there. Then after which, I'm going to connect with a straight line. Then over there, I'm going to use a very nice curve. So you can go ahead and add your allowance of 1.5 inches. So as soon as I'm done adding the allowance, next thing is to cut out the excess. So for the back of the skirt, I placed the right side, that's the front side, on the pattern paper, leaving 1 inch here for my zip. Then you know that for this front part, we came in here at the waist by 1 inch in order to avoid the bulge that is usually at the back. So, and this is 1 inch for my zip. Then I'm going to measure 7 inches down here and connect. So from this 1 inch, I'm going to reconnect it. So at the end of the day, I'm going to add it back to this other side. So we are going to add that at the back, that's of 1 inch. Then also we are going to be adding this 1 inch we took out, that's total of 2 inches. Then we are also going to extend this line here. The hip still remains the same. It's just that we are going to connect this line to the hip side, the hip line. Then retrace it back using a straight line. So I'm going to remove this front pattern and cut out what we have there. I'm going to measure 1 inch and mark. This is for my zipper. Then my darts, I'm taking that of 3.5. Then from there, I'm taking 5 inches. Then I'm going to make a straight line. Then on this part, I'm taking half an inch from both sides for my dart leg. Then I'm going to connect it to this 5 inches. So that is it. Let me go ahead and place on my fabric and cut out.